𝐸𝐚 Samastaha Sukhi no Bhavantu. May all beings be happy and peaceful. My name is Phoenix. Welcome to my channel. Here I talk about all things spiritual. And today I want to talk about the 3-week water fast and my experiences, lessons that I've learned along the way, and things that I might do differently next time around. Hopefully it will save you some trouble. So with my background, as far as fasting is concerned, I spent several years intermittent fasting, 16 to 18 hours per day, before I even got into water fasting. And then I started doing 1 day, 24 to 36 hour water fasts once per week. And this is recommended in the Ayurvedic tradition and also in other cultures and traditions. And it is highly recommended. It is very beneficial. And most people could just do that realistically. And if you did that once a week, that would be 52 days out of the year that you're fasting. So consistency is actually more important than just trying to knock out a 3-week water fast. So that's one of the lessons that I learned. But the other thing is that I was able to gradually build up. I did 3-day water fasts once per month for a while. And then I think I did a 5-day fast before I built up to a 3-week. And I felt ready for it. I was ready mentally and physically. So it's like training for a marathon. You wouldn't just go straight and try to run a marathon having not run before. You want to run a couple miles here and there and then build up your mileage over weeks and months. So that is really helpful for those that are considering a 3-week water fast. The other thing is that you need to expect that your normal routine is going to be disrupted. It might be easy to carry out your normal responsibilities in the first few days, but you've got to think in terms of stamina because you're actually going to need that energy later on in the fast for your body to heal. And so this is why it's often recommended by professionals and myself that you rest as much as humanly possible because it's like lying down on an operating table and receiving surgery. But the surgery is happening, your body's intelligence is shifting things around, cells are being broken down and being replaced. And so this takes a lot of energy. And so in order to allow this to happen without any impedance, the best thing to do is to rest and to not be at work and to not be going and working out as much as maybe your mind wants to do these things as a distraction. It's not going to serve you when it comes to a 3-week water fast, okay? And so I learned this the hard way. I actually was 2 weeks into my water fast and I had a class to teach, a yoga class, and I taught the class, but I barely made it through the class. And I felt horrible for the next couple of days after that, okay? And so that's one major consideration. Make sure that you take time away from work, take time away from your obligations and responsibilities, be able to isolate yourself. If you can't do that, then you should reconsider whether it's time for you to take a 3-week water fast. Another major consideration has to do with the time of the year, the season during which you decide to fast. So it's going to be much easier to fast in the spring and summer than it is in the winter. And I say this because of the external temperature and the effect that it has on your body. You'll feel more impacted by swings in temperature, mainly colder temperatures, when you are fasting for prolonged periods because your body normally relies on the stores of fat and food that you're putting in to generate heat. And so this can be very uncomfortable. Now, given that you are in a controlled environment where you can just blast a heater, that's okay. But at the same time, it's also helpful to be able to go outside and maybe put your feet on the grass or lie in the sun for a little while to be able to breathe the fresh air. And so this is why, for me personally, I decided to try out the 3-week fast in the middle of the summer. And I spent a lot of that time just lying in the hammock in the shade. And it felt really good and really soothing and nurturing for my body. So that's definitely something you want to consider. So the next thing is drinking water. So the amount of water that you drink, it's not a set amount. And it's really going to vary from day to day. And it's going to vary from one person to the next. But I found that some days I only drank maybe between 1 to 2 pints of water. And some days I drank a lot more. And some days I drank less. And it really comes down to tuning in, listening to your body's needs. Water will definitely help if you are experiencing symptoms such as headache or fatigue or aches and pains, because that water is being circulated in the body and it's helping to flush out the toxins that are being stirred up as you fast. So you might find, especially earlier on in the fast, that you want to drink a lot more. It can't hurt you. It can only really help you. But the less water you drink, the more intense the fast will become, because it's working with less inputs. It's working with the existing supplies in your body. So that's something else to consider. Really tune in. Don't listen to any of the other videos or articles out there that say exactly how much water you need to drink, because there is no exact science to it. And this leads me to my next major lesson, which had to do with focusing on comfort and solitude above all, and really listening to my body. And so comfort in terms of wearing as many or as few clothes as you need to, having as many pillows as you need to, being in an environment that you can control, and not having people coming and going that are maybe going to disrupt your flow, and maybe who don't understand what you're doing or why you're doing it. Okay. Now, with that, it is helpful sometimes to have at least one person who knows what you're going through. Maybe it's your spouse or your partner, or it's a close friend or family member. They at least know, and if there's anything that you need, they can come and support you, maybe offer a massage or get you a glass of water, right? But even just knowing that there's someone there that you can either call or have close by is really helpful. It's like having your buddy with you. And so you know that you're not going through it alone. But the comfort is key. And put yourself in solitude, even if you feel a resistance to it, which at times you will. We're used to being very aggressive and active in society and out in the world. And this is a stark contrast to that. And I found that challenging for me even. And I spent many hours meditating every day during that phase, and it was still challenging for me. And I think part of that has to do with the irritation from all of the things that are being stirred up in your body during that time. And so that brings me to the next point, which is when you start feeling discomfort, always embrace the discomfort as a part of the healing. This is part of the healing process. It's part of the surgery. It's necessary. And I'm excited because I know that my body's working through something major, and it's going to free me up and give me more energy later on when the fast is finished. Okay, so having that perspective at all times. The next thing that you need to really focus on is expecting difficulty. There are going to be days where you're just going to be, it's going to be like hell, okay? And especially as you get later into the fast, where maybe you're having difficulty sleeping at night, you're not sleeping as much, but then you don't necessarily feel tired the next day because you're spending a lot of time lying down, and maybe you feel a lot of aches and pains. And there is a point where that's why listening to the body is super important, because there's going to be a point where maybe your body just says, okay, I've had enough. Maybe you only get 17, 18 days into it. Maybe you only get 2 weeks into it. No big deal. If your body says that's enough, then it's enough. Okay. And that's the key. That's one of the most important lessons that I learned, because I tried to push it. I kept pushing, and my body was telling me close to the 3-week mark, you know, it's okay to stop now. But I didn't stop. I kept going. And I ended up suffering more in those final days than I did probably the entire rest of the time. And so we have these set ideas, but they shouldn't be fixed in our mind and think, you know, if I don't get to the 3-week mark, then I'm a failure. Because anything even beyond a day is a success. If you consider that most people in the world never fast a day in their life, and that's a sad reality. If you can make it a week, if you can make it 2 weeks, then I commend you. You should celebrate yourself. And so learn to celebrate yourself for every day. Okay. Celebrate that you made it through another day without eating food. And the next day, if you need to break the fast, it's okay. But this brings up the next consideration. Breaking the fast is actually more important than the fast itself. And this is something that I had to learn the hard way. Many people have to learn the hard way. You definitely do not want to break a fast eating a cheeseburger and a bunch of fries or a pizza, because that's going to shock your body. And you need to understand that you need to gradually reintroduce food into your body. The longer you go without food, the more time your body's going to need to adjust, to readjust when you start to bring it back in again. And so the type of foods that you introduce is extremely important. the amount of foods that you introduce is extremely important, and it gets more so as you go deeper into the fast. So if you do a 3-week water fast, 21 days, then it's going to take you 21 days to recover. And during those 21 days, you're going to want to start very, very small. And so oftentimes you'll see the recommendation, start with a very small piece of watermelon and then wait an hour, a couple of hours, and then introduce a little bit more watermelon or papaya or something like that, a fruit that is high water content that's easy to digest. Now, I actually found it difficult with the watermelon. It actually burned my stomach lining, believe it or not, after a 3-week water fast. And if I could do it again, what I would do differently is I would start with smoothies for several days, maybe at least a week after the water fast. And I would put fruit in the smoothies, but I would make them on the lighter side, more water intensive to start out, but have some nutrition in there, maybe some mango or some high water content fruits, maybe not a banana right away. And then I would gradually, over time, I would start to increase the density of the smoothie itself, and then I would start to eat actual fruit. And then I would start to eat maybe some lightly steamed vegetables and potatoes and that sort of thing. Foods that are easily digestible. I wouldn't go into grains right away. I wouldn't go into high protein right away. Even if it feels like that's what your body wants, it's going to hurt you initially. And so it takes some time. It's going to take several days to a week to where you can really start to feel like the food is moving through in the proper way, because everything is getting flushed out. And that includes the beneficial bacteria, because it's like kind of like the muscle that hasn't been used. It's going to be sore after you reintroduce food. And so breaking the fast is the most important aspect. And that's why they always say any fool can start a fast, but it takes a wise man to be able to break a fast properly. And so this is where all of that listening that you did earlier in the fast will come in incredibly handy, because you want to take a little bit of food or smoothie, see how it feels. Take it slow. There's no rush. It's not going anywhere. And if you need to take a break and lie down again afterwards because you feel sort of overloaded from those nutrients, that's okay. But I will tell you that it is an amazing feeling when you start to feel those nutrients rush into your bloodstream again, and you'll feel a remarkable energy in your crown, in your head, in your third eye. So, and something that you've never maybe experienced before. I know for me, that's how it was. And I remember going and picking blueberries at a blueberry farm a couple of weeks after the fast. And I actually went raw after that fast for a couple of months. And I had I picked like 10 gallons of blueberries, put them on the back of my bike, and I just ate blueberries for a few days. And I've never been higher in my entire life. Of course, there was a lot of sugar in those blueberries, but man, it felt really good, felt amazing. And so, of course, I wouldn't do that again, but it's definitely, those fruits are very healing and very nurturing for the body, and high antioxidant content with berries. Strawberries are great too. But again, I wouldn't introduce those right away. So breaking the fast is important. I want to see if there's anything that I missed here. Resting as much as possible. Drink only what your body needs. Focus on being in comfort and really listen to your body, and trust the whole process, and trust that you'll know what to do and when to do it, and take advice when you need it, but not from people who haven't fasted before. And if there's somebody in your life that maybe is against fasting, try to stay away from them, or don't have a phone conversation with them in the middle of a fast, okay? You need to be extra sensitive to other people's energy and their projections. Okay, so some people are actually incapable of fasting mentally, and they don't have the discipline, and they're going to do everything they can subconsciously to sabotage your fast, okay? And unfortunately, that's a sad reality that you need to face. So tell as few people as possible. Tell only the people who really need to know, and don't brag about it, because that's going to draw more attention to you. Definitely don't post on social media. Oh, and that's another thing. End social media for a little while. Take a break, detox from it. Take that opportunity and see how you feel when you're not scrolling on Twitter or whatever it is that you use, Instagram or Facebook. And all of these things will add up, and you'll come through this. And when you do get that strength back, You'll lose some weight, definitely. And if that's your objective, great. You're going to definitely lose weight. But when you get that strength back and you start to rebuild, you're going to feel so much better than you did before. You might notice that your vision improves. You might notice that your complexion improves. You'll notice that you're more vibrant. People will notice. People will take notice of you. And they'll also see that cleansing that you experienced internally in your mind and with your emotions. While you're fasting, be gentle, be kind to yourself, and understand that this is all part of the process, and commend yourself, celebrate yourself as much as possible. These were the major lessons that if I could do a 3-week water fast again, which I may or may not, I would do that more than anything else. I would be kind to myself and not be so hard and not be so fixed on getting to that 3-week point. Because like I said, anything beyond a week is remarkable. Anything beyond a couple of days is really, really good for your body and your mind and your spirit. So I hope that you found this video inspirational. Of course, if you have any questions, you're welcome to drop them down in the comments below. I'm here to be a source of support and inspiration. And if you want to learn more about these types of things, there is a retreat that I have coming up, and we're going to be talking about fasting and a lot of other things as well. There's going to be yoga and meditation. It's at 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐞 on Maui, September 10th through the 18th, 2022. And these retreats are actually going to be recurring 4 times per year in many different parts of the world. So if you're interested, check it out down below. Have a beautiful rest of your day.